I like the fact that in the booklet, I mean, xFate does not look like in the picture. Hi, my name is Azman. I'm a voice actor, voice director. I am the person who somehow told the person who is Liliana Vampire to approach Myholo TV.
Yeah.
So to audition, and now she's Liliana Vampire and as part of Myholo TV. Crazy.
Okay, think that you guys curious like how those creative process behind for VTuber creation, but just really want to share with you right how this entire process, like how long does it works. Usually, if you see those on the screen, right, how we do right, it's from 0 to 6 months. That's how long as the entire creation is. So basically, for the very first 1 to 2 months, we actually do a lot of research, like what kind of trends that particular year. We do have some input from anime industry, like we see what's the summer seasons, what winter seasons, what kind of anime they're facing, and we're trying to get some inspiration on that. Throughout this entire 1 month, once we get all this data, right, we are starting to actually trying to find potential artists like xFate.
Thank you.
Yeah. So fortunately, we found him, and throughout there, we actually have some very interesting topics that we want to discuss, like what kind of like ideas that we can actually bring into our VTuber creation process here. So for it, creation of design here, before we pass to xFate, right, usually we already starting to do our auditions for our talent. So once we manage to get one of the talent already on board and they already signed our contract, they will have at least about less than a week to come up with our agency, like what kind of like ideas or what kind of like inspirations from certain anime genre they really like how they want to portray themselves as a VTuber. Sorry to say, some people do really think VTuber is an anime character. Some agree on this fact, but another part might not be really agree, because I believe anime, they have their own kind of like idolized stage there. Yeah. So I would say after that, 3 months down the road, for the creation of this character, right? So we will talk more to xFate side and come up with what kind of like guidelines for him to visualize things like that. And we do also provide voice recording from our talent, because for xFate, right, especially as a actor, right, artist, right, they can't visualize without any audio. So this is the more important part. That's why we give not only audios, we also give a lot of intakes. And then I think throughout this process, right, once he's already have any information that needed, and he will start his process here. Then I'll pass this more information about how he draw, how the things works, right? xFate will be better to explain. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Calvin, for introducing me. So let's start with our. I have prepared some slides regarding the creation of Liliana Vampire. So okay, let's take start to the So actually, to be honest, Liliana Vampire is my very first anime character design project. So actually, I'm somehow feeling very complicated to show all these slides to the public, because I actually feel a bit like unconfident, because there are a lot of trial and errors during the process. So I hope you guys can learn from some of my experience. So yes, so let's proceed. The first thing, okay, next. Yeah, so the first thing that you need to get from the client, which is Myholo here, is the character details and also their VTuber roles. So a very important thing is like what Myholo Kelvin mentioned just now is the voice. The voice is also very important because it helps to visualize what kind of character a VTuber is. So talking back to the character details. So there are actually two types of details that you need to get. The first one, there are those very important one that directly affects the appearance, the physical, the outer appearance. For example, the like hairstyle and body sizes, like what kind of like creatures, or also the world setting. And then the minor one are, for example, the behavior, also the temperament of the character. For example, like is she a tsundere character or a princess character and stuff like that. Also, what kind of interests does she have? Like for example, Liliana, like she is a vampire. She like tomato. She like to drink tomato. So all these things actually, it doesn't seem like it, but actually it affects our idea generation. So okay, no, sorry. So do client always have a clear image of what they want? Actually, it depends. Some client will have very rough idea. Some client will have very precise idea. So for Liliana case, actually the right side one is the very first sketch that I received from Liliana. So as you can see, it's a very cute illustration. For Liliana, the details that she provided is actually quite a rough one. It's not overly complicated, not overly specific. The few key points that she gave me are like, for example, she has pigtail, has gothic Lolita vibes, and also petite in size. So as a first timer, actually I feel quite confident because when the idea is too rough, so sometimes I will afraid that we will draw something that really out of client expectation, which is also good thing or bad thing. Bad thing is they can't accept at all. They want you to redo. And then the good thing is we might surprise them. Wow, I never expected this. Something like that. Yes. So next one please. So how we started with the VTuber creation, because like there are thousands and millions of combinations that we can come up with for the character design. So normally I will use the so-called mix and match method. So like for each of the part of the character, I will like draw, for example, like minimum 4 options for the client to choose. So as you can see here, like we will have 4. For this one, I actually made 7. So as you can see, the Liliana one is actually the 4th one. The 4th one is the final choice of Liliana and also Kelly. But actually the one that I like is the first one. You can see actually I sketched additional angles so that they can buy my idea. But then
that's the struggle part for artists, like always constantly moving back and forward.
Because like the thing that you like is definitely always quite different with the client, because they have their character image in their head, but artists have their own one. Like I like this type of girls, but the talent themselves or the producer say, oh, no, our character is like this. Don't mess with us. don't try to brainwash us. Okay? So yeah, so that is why very important to always provide like a few options for the client to choose. Don't like straight, okay, I want to draw one ultimate design, and then send to client and no, redo. And it will waste all your time. And then also psychologically, like client will feel, thanks for giving me so many options. They will appreciate that also. Okay, so next one. So this is it's a very first draft sketch for Lily. Yeah, as you can see, actually none of the option here is near to the final design. Because as I said just now, this is actually my first time designing a full anime character. I was in animation studio before, so I designed some more cartoonish character, but anime character is actually my first time. So actually I tried too hard because I know VTuber is very special, so it is different from usual anime character design. So I tried a bit too hard. So some of the clothing here doesn't look logical enough. For example, like you can't link back all these clothing to the real world design. So I think that is actually quite important, so that you don't do something too crazy, because it might look weird also. Yes, it might look unique, but it actually look weird.
Yeah, just to add on point on xFate side, right, we do also take consideration how cosplayers or how others people going to draw the fan art for us. So this is also part of the things that we are really concerned. I think with our very first 3D design, right, it actually able to do such wearable on the real outfit. But of course, we still in Malaysia, we still have to censor it. We can't do as revealing as because investment side. You do wish you can, but fortunately, there's certain regulation you have to follow in Malaysia as well. Yeah.
There's a bunch of Lily and the Vampire cosplay during day one, wasn't it?
Cyberpunk. I think this is Cyberpunk.
Yeah, the second
design.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. So yeah. So this is one guy. The color is very bizarre. Like what I said just now, I tried too hard, because like, I think it's my first character design job. I want to make sure really is look like nothing before. So the design wise, also the color wise, I also like, okay, let's do some craziest color. But then yeah, I failed.
No. It's not failing. It's just only accommodate our request. That's really complicated for people to understand.
So okay. So one important thing is you should always design the character, the colors based on the character, like their temperaments and their elements and status, instead of trying very quick. Yeah, feel free to try experiment with colors, but you really need to link back to your own characters. You cannot just play with random color like that. So yeah, this one I admit I tried too hard. So the color also, like, and not now the color here is close to Lily, like the apparel design. Yes. Okay, next one. And then yeah, this is the turning point. This is a really great turning point. And the discussion with Myholo and Liliana, right? So actually we reached until the left side with Lily. So at this stage, that suddenly, because the feedback was quite slow, so until this suddenly their response is slower. So I feel like maybe something is wrong. Maybe they are like inside their heart they are not satisfied with the design, but they don't dare to tell me. So I think maybe I should go and try to change the design and something like that. So now the left design looks okay, but then I try to simplify the design by removing the unnecessary or the element that is disrupting the design. So I make the overall design like more harmonious through applying repetitive patterns. Like for example the dark brown color, and also the spiky elements that can bring out the gothic feel. Yes. Next slide. Okay. So this is the second version of our revamping. At this point, I go back to a more neutral color. I finally realized that okay, the gradient color, the pink color, might not work so good for Lily. So that is why I toned down the color and further simplified Lily design. So now finally the design went from a lingerie pajamas to a more suitable design. It's like a real world camisole. Yes.
Yeah, just sorry, I want to add on something here. So basically, for VTuber character creation, right? If you see outside those anime characters, right? Usually, how they see such interesting things that on that character, right? Usually, we do really focus on 3 points for visualize. If you see Lily's, right? The 3 things most capturing is, of course, her heterochromia eyes. One is a red, one is a yellow. And another one, right, you can see there's a brooch on her neck, so that would be her main selling point for her character. And also subsequently, you see, right, her overall design, which is more to what kind of it's like the type of outfit.
Or the gothic one?
Yeah, the Gothic one. So that would be her main attraction here. So do focus if, let's say, you are interested to draw that kind of VTubers character or even yourself, right? Always bring up 3 main attraction for your point, like how you want that to be interesting for people to see. If you have too many things, like more than 3 or 5, even 10, so people are really hard to focus, like what kind of character directions or what kind of feelings that you want to bring to your audience here. Yeah.
Yes, so that is why I need to simplify the design to this stage.
Yep.
From the very colorful and with a lot of elements, so that is not the right way to do it. So yes. Next. Okay, so finally we are on the right track, and then we feel that okay, this design is correct already. So we now proceed to adding more and more details. So okay. At this we add more. So at this point, I add more of the spiky elements to further strengthen the gothic feels, and then add more accessories to match the Lily and financial and social background. Because like Lily Lore she is like Ojo-sama, like a princess that live in a castle. So that is why we need to make her feel richer, like from a more better family background. So yeah, that is why I say the VTuber laws is very important, because you need to know the character background and design accordingly. Yes. And then this for the original Lily, the first Lily. I think that is all. So let's proceed to the next, the second Lily, the cyber Lily, which is the better production workflow. It looks slightly more professional actually. Okay, next. Better looking workflow. Okay, so this one.
So for Cyber Lily, right, actually, because we feel that the first outfit is really good enough, but we also trying to keep trend, uptrend, like what kind of like anime seasons right now. Like if you see Cyberpunk 2077, it's really on peak that time. We are really foresee that there's a lot of fans gonna be really enjoying that kind of show. So that's why with our available resources that we have from fans supporting us, all this stuff, right, we really lucky that I'm also grateful that with their help, we managed to come to this visualize of Cyberpunk Lily. Yeah. So I think let's explain more about this.
Okay, like since this is the second design of Lily, so I tried to make Lily look really different from the first one. So I said, okay, let's go with short hair. But then, so that is why you see there are a few options that with a shorter hair version of the Lily. But when I showed this option, right, then Lily said, no, I want to keep my long twin tails. So okay, my plan failed again. Yeah, right. I think I want a very big image change, but there are certain things that VTuber really need to keep. I think maybe it's their icon already, so you cannot just change like that. The artists want to change, but yeah, this is their identity. So yeah, you cannot really change like that. So that is why you need to provide options for them to choose. So after that, we come out with the bottom right option, and then Lily are okay with that. Yes. So next. Okay, so this time I also provided a four apparel design for the Cyber Lily, and then the keywords that was provided by Papa Polo and also Lily is jacket, and then want to look badass, and also glove with short hands. So this one option was designed accordingly to their request. And then what they chose was the A+C. So this is also the very important part for the mix and match method, because like you provide 4 options, then you can ask the client. So this is the 4 options, but actually you can also like pick the part that you like, and then you can combine them. Like for example, they choose like the upper part of part A, and then they take the and then they take the hood from the C option. So become A plus C become the fifth design. But actually the one that I like is the D one. So you can see that throughout the design process, right? My opinion is always very different from Pia. So this is also the very sad part for being an artist. Okay. Yeah, so not much to talk about this one. This is a detailing, and detailing. So we will after we are confirmed the direction is correct. So the draft design is we looked out already. So the only thing we need to do is add more things so that it looks more premium and more finished. So yeah. Next. And then yeah, the color design, because like this time is unlike last time. Last time actually no colors. The originally no colors was requested, so I am free to experiment with random colors. But this time the main color is already set. We want a pink, very cute pink to bring out the cute personality of Lily. So I know cyberpunk color, so it's like white, brown, pink was used as a main color. So yeah, the left side one was the final color. Yes, so this is the final design of the Cyber Lily. Yep, I think that is all for my part. Let's pass to Mr. Azman.
So now I think roughly you were able to get a gist of how xFate created this character. So our expectation toward him is pretty high because we do have that kind of expectation when we also recruiting overseas artists to work with us. Because if you see our other talent like if you know Neola, other than Neola, Carrot, Uzi, and also Rion as well. So all of these artists, right? We do have our own standards requirement. That's why for him to catch up is really impressive for us as well. Yeah. Usually artist-wise, when they create the entire character, right, it would take some I see they can finish at least as fast as 2 weeks. But of course, we have to have a lot of vision. But some they take their time. It can be up to 1.5 months. Depends on how available they are doing. Because I do believe they also have other kind of like commission they have in their mind. So after all this character design done, then they will start to do separation layers. Separation layers is also another topic for Live 2D. Unfortunately, I don't want to bring the Live 2D part here because it's involved even more complicated process and it requires different kind of software to do it. Yeah, so that kind of Live 2D rigging here, it takes about maximum we said it's 1.5 months. Yeah, we also saw some Live 2D artists, they do it within a month. Yeah, and the amount, the effort they put in, right, is as hard as the character artist design here.
Very tedious job actually.
Yes, very
hundred of layers.
Yeah, exactly. So okay. Meanwhile, while this all this design is happening, so behind our part here in agency, we do have thoughts how the law design stuff like that gonna work, and then we bring these ideas. We actually find our voice director or voice artist, Mr. Azman here, to actually help us on how to help talents to visualize what kind of like the way they trying to say things like that. And very fortunately, Lily is our very best talent. She does have very basic voice acting, I would say. And then and also very interesting story behind Lily is before she joined, Mr. Azman actually introduced her to us because if you know, when I start this company, right, I was actually alone and I'm using my own funding. I didn't get any sponsor, things like that. From there, right, constantly get rejection when we do close audition. I would say roughly 50 plus sending out invitation. We didn't get. Finally, I actually find Mr. Azman, and from there, he actually recommend a lot of talents. Finally, we found the one that we actually thinks that is very suitable for this character here. I think Azman's side can train. I mean, I can share more about how the voice training part for talent side.
First of all, there's so much rejection coming in towards you during the creation of Lily. I think xFate deserve a lot more than that. Come on, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, also, what's interesting for me is that's the first time I see all the Lily progression. You know, because the funny thing is when I'm not sure how the story started. Because all I knew is that I think I saw a call to audition on Facebook.
Yes.
I don't even know who posted it. I don't even know if it's written as Myholo TV at that time. I don't even know it was your name at that time.
Yeah.
All I knew it was we're looking for like maybe cutesy voice talent. And at that time, there's only one person that came to mind, which is the talent of Lily. So I've coached Lily before, right? She was my student. She was my voice acting student, and then she was just joining out of interest and passion. So when I saw that call to audition, I said, "Hey, Lily, not her. This is her real name, by the way." So I was like, "Hey, Lily, check out this audition," and then she was like, "Oh, thank you." Right? So. And then I didn't hear anything from her ever again. So I was like, okay, with the hope for me as a teacher, of course, I was like, okay, I hope she sent in her audition. And then what happened next, I think it was maybe, is it during COVID, 2019, or is it before COVID? I don't remember. I think it's before COVID.
I think just started. Yeah.
Just started.
Yeah.
So I think that was when I met you for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? So when Lily and Calvin went into my studio and then they were there to record some song or something like that, and I was like, what is this about? What is this about? And then apparently she had to sing a song in Lily's voice as Lily of some song that I forgot what it was. And then that was when she found out. Oh yeah, this is the audition that I joined. I got the role. Yeah. So and I was like, oh shit, this is great. So I think first things first. I think what's good about Lily is that she has the ability to self-direct. All right. I mean, yes, I coach her and all that. I coach her how to sustain her voice and all that. But Lily has the ability to self-direct herself. She knows what goes wrong with her voice. She knows what sort of a mistake she does when she's live. So I guess if any of you guys here are aspiring VTuber, you have to have the ability to self-direct. You know. So, but my role into Liliana Vampire, aside from leading her into this audition, which became the creation of Liliana Vampire, which is crazy, by the way. I don't even know how many subscribers she has already, but really crazy, is that we've had a few little sessions together. So what voicing in a VTuber, what is it all about is not really 100% voice acting, not really exactly what I do professionally. What I do professionally is really simple. Is I get a script. I mean, can I have your script just for a little bit? And I was like, I can just feel complicated to show Lily's design development. I mean, contact xFate and you might be able to get an anime version of you. I mean, that's voice acting, that's voiceover. But what Lily is doing is live during a stream. So some of the voice technique that we coached on her is the ability to sustain a super high-pitched voice for how long again?
At least 2 hours.
At least 2 hours.
1 hour.
Okay, now Lily's original voice is already high-pitched, right? But she needs to sustain that. So for a lot of you guys, if you want to talk like this for like 2 freaking hours, you're gonna run out of voice at the end of that 2 hours. So we taught her a lot about breathing method and how not to hurt this part of the throat, which is your voice. Because if you lose your voice, you can't talk and you cannot stream. All you'll see is just Lily doing that, yeah. So we actually taught her a lot about sustaining her voice, and also how do you when we talk live, you don't really have a script. Maybe you have like pointers on what to talk, but we sort of taught her on things to turn her nervousness turn her uncertainty into a performance. You know, when we talk live, we say a lot of we have a lot of that. So we actually taught her to use a bit of that into a performance. So instead of saying she would probably say, "So today, Tomato-san, I sound so cute. Oh wait, we have a giveaway." So she used a bit of that into her performance. So rather than sounding awkward, she's able to use that as part of as her live stream. And I think that's one of the most important things, is that she's able to take that and use it as embrace that. Or if it sounds like a mistake, then embrace that mistake and use it as part of her performance. Because sometimes being able to make mistake and laugh about it, I think that's what made Liliana Vampire what she is today.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's pretty much what my major part is, coaching her, and then not just her, now with everyone else, with Carrot, with Layola, Orion, and all that. We've done a few of that coaching with Myholo TV. Yeah.
So during those training afterwards, right, we do have our follow-up trainings with Azman. Usually we do review monthly basis what kind of things that VTuber should take note during live streams. If that kind of expertise like voice acting or certain ways that she have to improve on the talking part, we usually refer to Azman to get some of the professional advice, because myself, I'm not professional in anything. I'm just very fortunate to have such a very good team with us to actually bring all these things into reality here. So example, let's say Lily constantly feel insecure, things like that, right? Other than
Always insecure.
yeah, yes. VTuber, here's the thing. Being a VTuber, right, most likely I see it's really introvert. They are really insecure on their own voices or their own characters. They feel this kind of insecurity. But of course, our side here, we are really try our best to comfort them that, hey, you are actually only seeing the text as a layer of communication, but you're not seeing others people like how you guys, hundreds, tens of us watching me right now. So the pressure, of course, is we're gonna reduce for her. So that's the part where we ask Azman's side to see what kind of ideas or what kind of ways that they can improvise her talking, things like that. Yeah.
One of the funny things was when Liliana, I think she asked the question through you, and then you asked me on her behalf. I was like, "How do I sound like a Malaysian again?" I was like, "What?" because Liliana, for the longest of time, she's been performing in her pseudo Japanese accent, right? And then I think in those times she just forgot how to sound like a Malaysian again, which is super weird. So she wanted. I think we haven't had that. We haven't had a chance to make that session yet. But it's so funny that you've been performing as Liliana for the longest of time. Liliana is her real name. That she just forgot how to sound like her real self, which is super weird. What else? Oh yeah, you were saying that the follow-up training was once a month and stuff like that. But I believe that these people, they're constantly learning. They're learning every day. They're learning to self-direct every day, and you just don't stop learning. Basically, you're just doing the thing every day. I mean, in fact, if I were to be a Liliana right now, I would be talking in my high pitch voice every day and just talking my pseudo Japanese accent to Papa Holo and stuff like that, right? I think it is a constant learning experience. Yeah.
To add on, right, as a VTuber himself or herself, right, definitely I think there's also constantly struggling to perform their persona, because sometimes the VTuber does not really align with their personality online. Yes. So all this actually it's more to internal struggling. We trying to actually make them realize that, hey, this is only for voice acting. It's not related to your real life stuff. As you know, you are representing your character. It's not your real life. So all these things, agency is really have to be very clear and precise for them. Otherwise, even though in these VTubers, right, we see constantly they are struggling in between. How do I react? on my real life, and how do I react on VTuber side. Yeah, we do have this guideline.
Yeah, that's one of the most challenging things when it comes to voice is that we would get the talents to, okay, how would you laugh as your persona? Because how you laugh in real life and how you laugh in your persona, let's say as Liliana, is different. Usually it would be different. And how you would play, how you would react to horror, like something like a jump scare, it would be different as well. Which is what one of the major struggle for Liliana is that when she plays horror games, she would pretty much be herself,
Yes.
rather than be Liliana. So what all that scream is actually her, not Liliana. Liliana is her real name, by the way. So yeah, like how would you sigh? How would you design your sigh? So this is like being a talent. How would you design your? How would you sigh? How would you cry? How would you scream? How would you laugh? How would you design your word fillers? Would you say or all that stuff? I mean, those are all little small things that you Liliana is essentially pretty much an actor. So you're living that persona. So how would you design all that small things that fans would be able to pick up? Oh, hey, that's cute. Oh, the way you say tomato is super adorable, kind of thing. So all that little thing, those are part of the things that we actually share during the training session with all of the other talents in Myholo.
So regarding persona-wise, right, I do believe you see Lily's 2 years ago, or maybe during the first debut, is totally different from right now how you see her the way. It's because we do believe when a person develops persona, she will reach a point where she's really good at. So that's why through us agency, right, you don't really restrict, hey, you must be persona A all the way time. We actually give them some time to learn, to develop their persona until the point where they are really comfortable using that persona here. But I mean, certain part maybe, I believe some of you might be indie VTuber, I guess. Don't really worry much how your persona will change. Definitely when you gain a lot of experience throughout your live streaming and know your audience more, you will able to develop your very own unique version here. Copying others' persona at first, like pekora, peko, that kind of things is fine for you, but if you do it constantly, you'll be somehow a copy of herself. So you have your courage to try new things. Don't give up on that, and it will actually help you to develop more and more things for yourself.
I think one of the smaller details with Liliana is that the way she said, yeah, right? So that at the start of her career when she said, yeah, and then she was able to develop that, it sounded like there's a bit of a vocal fry. Vocal fry is this, by the way, that a bit of that right there. So there's a bit of a yeah kind of thing. I can't do her voice, obviously, but the way she said yeah has developed over the years, right, to when she's Liliana. So that's like one of the little nuance that for you guys who are VTubers or indie VTubers, if you want to go into that, or even as a voice actor, or when you're voicing a character, you should be able to notice those small things, right?
Okay, I guess this is the part where for Q&A session. Raymond, is it? Yeah, for you Q&A. Yeah.
Big hand to the crew of Comic Fiesta, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for a wonderful session as well.